Welcome to day 20 of my 30-day challenge where I aim to build and design a Christmas/winter island in just 30 days. I can't use Nintendo Online or the DLC, but I'm allowed to time travel and we have some goals. So Isabel just announced that we have a campsite visitor, so let's see who it is. I mean, I am pretty happy with all of my villagers, but I'm not necessarily attached to Gladys. So if we should get a penguin or someone amazing, Gladys is the one that I would trade in. In case you ask why the snow is still gone, I have been looking for some tree bounty items for the last 2 days and I have not been too lucky. So at this point it's not that much fun anymore and I do miss the snow. So I think we will abandon this quest and go back to mid-December. These are the DIYs that I got. Not too bad, but not worth 2 days of playing in my opinion. Oh, Marina. She is adorable. If I ever make a pink island, I would love to have her. I never had an octopus. So let's time travel to December 10, one day before we have snow. And we have another campsite visitor. Oh, I love weather like that. Misty, cloudy, stormy. And with the snowing, it looks awesome. I also like rainy days, but I feel like in Animal Crossing most days are sunny and kind of boring. Well, most people do like sunny days, so that's to be expected. Pashmina. I have her on my other island, so we won't take her. First, because she doesn't scream winter, and second, since this is my second island, this is kinda my only chance to have different villagers, so I wouldn't want to occupy a spot with a villager I already have on my other island. Since today is the big day 20, we have to look at the goals later. I wanted to work on some more custom designs for the ground. I feel like we don't have a lot of them. So here you have a speed design for a few different floor designs. At the beginning of every design, I will put up the original design that I used as guidance. So as always, please check out the original designs if you like them. I was able to do all of them pretty quickly, so this won't be too long. Regarding Christmas movies, I have seen a lot of bad ones lately. Not super bad, but bad enough. Bad for me means that I turn it off after about 30 minutes or so because it's not interesting at all to me. But I can recommend a baking show on Netflix called Sugar Rush Christmas Edition. It has 2 seasons and in every episode 4 teams compete in baking challenges, all Christmas related. I am watching that every year around this time since it came out. I just like looking at Christmas related food. So that is always fun to watch or just have on in the background. And before we use any of the designs, I have another important question for you. If you remember, we looked at the telephone at Brewster's yesterday. So now I am torn between 2 phones. This one or this one. I kind of like both, but the cordless one seems more like a home phone, I guess. But I'm using the other phone in the toy factory as well, so it might be nice to switch it up. I'm leaving both of them out until I make up my mind. If you have a preference, let me know in the comments. I am super excited to get back to the snow. Green grass just doesn't look good on this island. There is also the fake building on top of the toy factory. I don't know if we can pull it off, to be honest. I tried to make a fake door, but it just doesn't look right, unfortunately, because I don't have any way to make a roof, so it looks kind of like a weird white block with a door in front of it that also gets cut off when you stand on the ground. So this might be a failed experiment. But to prepare some more for the goal review and finish some areas last minute, I have some items that I want to place down in Gladys's backyard. So let's do that real quick. The good thing about time traveling is that you can get a lot of new items and DIYs. So I have been collecting what seemed useful and stored them in different locations. I didn't have a lot of ideas for her backyard, so I just checked what we already had and it just seemed practical to give her a dog. I wanted to make the dog look like Walker, but the only black and white variant was a Dalmatian, so we went with that. And I really like the doghouse in this light color. In case you are worried because his bowl is empty, don't worry. We placed down some extra food and another place to sleep, since we don't have the pet bed. I personally don't like leaving dogs outside when it's cold, but let's assume that Gladys lets him sleep inside and he is just outside to play. So that is the yard so far. Another build that I have been preparing is the campsite. I placed down some wooden stairs a few days ago, and now we have enough items to get to the decorating. I tried to pick the lowest fence that we have since I don't want to hide the working elves in any way. And I finally used some more flowers, yellow pansies. The build isn't necessarily super Christmassy, but we don't have to go overboard for every single tile. Some neutral builds are okay as well. So I placed down 2 kids' tents to make it look fuller, and I lined out where to fit the campsite. That takes up 4x4 tiles. Because we have the fence and the flowers behind the tent, I think the elves will not be covered up when we walk towards the toy factory. Now, I really like this gloomy weather, but let's go to the next day so we can see everything with the snow. I think the campsite looks really nice. I might add a few things along the way, but so far it does look pretty finished to me. And a quick look at the backyard of Gladys. I'm happy that we placed down some paths so he is not directly in the snow with his paws. But I am happy that we got these out of the way. Now let's try out some of the new custom designs I made earlier. I would like to try them at Poncho's yard, because that still feels pretty empty. I think it's cute. If we break up the path a bit, it does look nice. At least not empty anymore, so I would also count this yard as finished. I also wanted to mention that I placed down this stone arch at the museum entrance. It's not as nice as the bounty tree arch item would have been, but I think it's totally acceptable. And as I said earlier, we got a bunch of new items by time traveling, so I placed some down to prepare for new builds. There are a bunch of items on the beach. This beach will not be museum related, but something completely different. You might guess it from the items already. I will also change out the floor once we start working on it. Next, I have placed down some items here above the Christmas market. Well, the items up here look a little questionable, but I think you know what I would like to create here. I am so happy that we have snow again, because I also want to craft more ornament decorations, and we do need decorated trees for that. So it's time for the goal review. Before we update the goal sheet, I want to illustrate our progress on the map. First, there is everything marked in white that is completed or very close to completion. We have the toy factory, the campsite, some villager yards, the tree farm at Nook's Cranny, the ice rink, then most of the area at the entrance, the bakery and the museum, and the Christmas market is also very close to being finished. Then I have marked everything with yellow that is not finished, but I at least started it or placed down some items because I have an idea for it. There are some yards amongst that, my own yard, Alice, Rocco, Deirdre and Hans. The whole area above the Christmas market and above the toy factory, and so on. There is still a lot to do, but if we tackle a few areas every day, I think we can make it in time. And lastly, I marked all of the areas with red that are completely untouched and I have no idea for it. Just 3 areas. I thought it would be more, so it's not that bad. Now, as I am seeing this, I am thinking about moving the build on the beach there to the land. Since decorating the beach isn't a priority, even if they stay empty, I wouldn't mind. So it might be better to focus on the red areas first before I decorate some more beaches. So this is the current situation. I think it looks good so far. We still have 10 more days, but I would like to finish by day 8 or 9 so I can remove all of the stored items on the beach and decorate my interior as well, which is not possible right now because I have so much stuff lying around. But as I said, if we tackle 2 areas a day, we should be good to go by day 7 or 8. Well, that was fun and definitely helpful to see it all laid out. And here we have the goal sheet. I'm happy with all of the villagers. Gladys is okay, but as I said, if we find an awesome campsite villager, I might replace her. But with her colors, she is definitely acceptable. For the villager yards, we are halfway done. We still need to finish 5. Piers still doesn't have a permanent spot, but I will sort that out in the next few days. And for the island builds, we have the ice rink, the tree farm, the museum, the bakery, and the Christmas market. I could also put down the campsite or the entrance, I suppose, but I want to leave that open until the end. Then we can decide which build to put there. But anyhow, we don't have to worry about it. This summarized day 20 of North Pole. If you would like to follow my journey, feel free to subscribe and come back tomorrow for the next day. I appreciate you for being here. Let me know what you think about our progress so far, and if you have any idea for the red areas. Thank you so much for watching and see you all tomorrow.